really do want to go back to school. My son wants to go back to school. I think most everybody I've talked to wants to go back to school. We are nervous.
Going back to school in uncertain times.
Tonight, an in-depth look at the reopening plan for Knox County schools and the learning options for families.
If you are a family that believes that this is not the right thing for you to send your children back to school, no one is telling you that you have to.
What parents think, what they like about the plan, and their fears.
Plus, protections for students and teachers in classrooms across East Tennessee. And we're answering your questions live as districts work on getting you back to school.
Knox County Schools is pushing back the first day of school to August 17th. The superintendent plans to have students in the classroom. There will also be a virtual learning program for families uncomfortable with sending their kids to school. Students will stay in virtual learning the entire semester. Students and staff will be required to wear masks when social distancing isn't possible, and that includes on the bus. There will also be daily temperature checks.
In this primetime special, we are committed to getting you the information that you need to get your students back to school.
And we begin tonight with breaking down the new plan from Knox County Schools. The district outline will impact some 60,000 students and their families and 8,000 staff members. There is a lot we know and certainly some questions that are left unanswered. Knox County Schools will operate on a color-coded system for the fall. Here it is. Green means business as usual, like before the pandemic. Yellow, students will go to school, but with those safety precautions like social distancing, wearing masks, increased cleaning measures. And then finally, red, that's when all students would learn remotely. Knox County Schools says if it learns of a positive COVID-19 case, it will notify local health officials. KCS will then work with the Knox County Health Department to initiate contact tracing and notify family members as well as staff members who may be impacted. If students have to quarantine, they will be able to move online and return to school after meeting required criteria. The district did release start and finish times for each grade in the virtual option. You can see those times right now on your screen, but it's still unclear just how many hours will be spent at the computer versus working independently at home. Superintendent Bob Thomas acknowledges that people will have some problems with the plan, but he says it is a culmination of a lot of hard work, and this shows it right here. This is the superintendent, the Board of Education, but look at all the people who had input on this. Parent surveys, focus groups, state and local leaders. The superintendent believes it's the best plan moving forward, and he wants kids to return to the classroom.
Your child is going to be okay, and we're going to provide the very best educational opportunities, whether your child is in school in person or online. However, we do know the very best education, the teaching and learning takes place in the classroom with our teachers every day.
Families must sign up for the virtual option by July 22nd. That is next Wednesday, and they will have to stick with it all semester. 10 News reporter Gabrielle Hayes talked to parents and teachers about the plan, what they like, and their concerns.
Teacher Tiffany Collins says there are some things she does like.
I like the date being pushed back because that gives our schools time, an opportunity to actually make the accommodations.
For her, that matters.
Ensure that we are providing safe learning environments for our students.
Parent Lee Fogarty says he likes that there are two options.
Giving them the option to stay home is fantastic.
But he does have some questions.
We don't know what's going to happen with this virus.
He's also concerned about the 1 week parents have to decide what to do. But his biggest concern is about health, which teacher and parent Christy Brucci is concerned about too.
You know, we closed school when we barely had any cases at all, and now we're getting almost 100 a day.
She says the overall want is to be in the classroom, but in practice, she's worried about what that will look like.
How am I going to keep a class full of 6-year-olds in masks? Or how do I keep them from being near each other?
A critical care doctor at UT Medical Center says we need to keep a close eye on our children as schools reopen. Dr. Clay Callison is a pulmonary specialist treating COVID-19 patients. He's also a father.
So it'll be a whole new experience for, I think, a lot of us. And you know, I think I'm cautiously optimistic, but also very nervous. really over the next 4 to 6 weeks to see what happens. We all have to be
The uncertain school year ahead will clearly impact students in all grade levels. Here's what they're saying about the plan and what lies ahead.
I'm going to go to school in person.
I'd rather go to school in person.
I think I want to go back to school.
At first, my preference was virtual.
The teacher might get frozen. And the teacher might mute you on Zoom. That has happened to me.
I like that, eye-to-eye kind of thing. Like, you're actually there, learning the stuff.
I kind of saw my parents' point with being one-on-one in person and seeing the benefits of that.
I also miss my friends who I went to school with, and I'm not really able to see them outside of school.
It's definitely going to be 6 feet apart. We're probably going to have to wear a mask.
It might sound hard, but it's actually very easy to go back to school.
We are taking your questions about the upcoming school year, from virtual options to safety inside schools across East Tennessee. Our team is standing by to answer your questions on the WBIR Channel 10 Facebook page. Well, back to college will also look different this fall. The tough choices for those students coming up.
Plus, virtual or in person, Knox County parents explain the tough choices they're making for their families. And as we head to break, a look at school start dates across East Tennessee.
College students also have a tough choice to make this fall. Will they attend a 4-year university, community college, technical school, or will they just take a year off? For many students, that choice must happen right now. In May, Tennessee schools saw about a 40% decrease in fall enrollment compared to last year. Now they're seeing about an 18% decrease.
We are hearing now from students that they want to go. They just need to know what their exact next step is.
On our website right now, we have resources to help students understand their options, plus a list of what fall semester will look like for colleges here in East Tennessee. Still ahead, we answer more of your questions about the upcoming school year, from lunches to protecting teachers. Plus, what comes next for high school sports come fall.
A delayed start, in-person class, and a virtual option. Now parents must decide whether to send their children back to Knox County classrooms in a month. Two mothers and a father join me now with their thoughts on Knox County's reopening plan. Lashika Jones has 3 school-age children, Beth Foster has 2, and Jonathan Fortner has 3. And Jonathan did serve on the Community Reentry Task Force, sharing parents' perspective. We appreciate you guys joining the discussion. I want to jump right in. Lashika, we'll let you start. How do you feel about the reopening plan?
Like I said, I'm kind of iffy on it. I work with Knox County Schools, so I have to go. But as far as with the kids, I'm glad I have that option for the virtual learning, so that the ones that are scared to go, they can stay home and do the learning. And with my senior, she's going to go. So I'm half and half with the decision.
Yeah, I know it's a tough one.
I mean,
we're kind of all in the same boat. I think, you want the best for your kids and for faculty. Beth, what about you? What were your thoughts to the plan?
I thought the most important thing here is that everybody has an option to choose what they're most comfortable with. I think the school board had a really tough task, but I appreciate their diligence and working through it, and hopefully we can find the safest approach for everyone this school year.
Jonathan, are you pleased or are you disappointed with the plan?
Overall, I'm pleased. I think it gives us options. I really like that the principals are going to have some leeway in how they implement the guidelines at the school. And I think that's really important because they know their school the best, they know their students the best, they know their families the best. So it gives some leeway there for the principals and the staffs to implement based on their school. I would like to know what metrics are going to be used for the red, yellow, green. Are we using number of active cases? I know that's a partnership with the health department. I think that needs to be communicated out to us as families so that we can plan as we watch information rise.
Yeah, I want to ask all three of you, will you be doing the virtual option or will you send your kids to school? Lashika?
I'm split. One will go to school and two will do virtual.
Beth, how about you?
Both of my children will be doing the face-to-face option.
Okay, and Jonathan?
And all three will go in person as well.
Jonathan mentioned some concerns he has. Beth, Lashika, do you have any concerns as we wrap up the discussion?
There's the metrics are so tough here, and the information changing every day. It's a dynamic planning process where you're faced with myriad contingencies. So, I think the best we can do is stay on top of the information. And as far as concerns, there are many, but I think at this point we just need to have faith acting on the best information we can.
And Lashika, you seem to be in agreement there.
Yeah, I have those same concerns too. If what they're going to do if something goes on, what's their plan of action if a staff member or a student tests positive for COVID? So what is their approach going to be? That's my concern.
All right. Thank you to all three of you. We appreciate you joining our discussion.
Thank you.
Let's move to the big picture. School districts across East Tennessee are finalizing plans for the upcoming school year. Almost every district is offering the option of in-person classes and virtual learning. At some schools, staff will be required to wear masks when social distancing isn't possible. Those districts include Alcoa, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and Union County. Many other districts highly recommend teachers wear masks. Masks will be required on buses for students in Anderson, Morgan, Roane, and Union County schools, as well as Oak Ridge schools and Lenoir City schools. Once inside, Oak Ridge schools and Union County schools will require students to wear masks during the school day where social distancing isn't possible.
We are answering your questions about what the school year could possibly look like in the fall, and one Knox County parent asked this: is there a plan for food assistance for children who received free or reduced lunches but will be doing virtual classes? Well, the reopening plan says students enrolled in the virtual program can receive meals through their base school. Families need to contact the school nutrition department to set it up. In the event all students go online, the district says it will provide takeaway meals. Another person asked, how specifically does the school system plan to protect teachers? If they have to quarantine for 14 days, will they be forced to use time off? Here's the answer. Knox County Schools says teachers will be required to work from the school building even if they are teaching virtual classes. It says masks will be required when social distancing cannot happen. Now, if a teacher has to quarantine, the district says teachers can use 10 days of emergency sick leave.
Just as there are a lot of questions about the return to school, athletics face a lot of uncertainty as well. Here's what we know right now about the fall.
3 sports are proceeding as normal. Girls volleyball, cross country, and golf. They are considered non-contact. The question mark lies with girls soccer and football. They are considered contact sports and fall under Governor Bill Lee's state of emergency order. They can't compete or scrimmage until August 30th. Practice is still okay, but it must focus on weight training, conditioning, and fundamentals. So what comes next? Well, there are 2 paths. 1, receive the same exemption from the order that college and professional athletics are getting. That's why the TSSAA has yet to make a decision. And number 2, choose a contingency plan. For girls soccer, one plan has been put forward: extend the regular season and play missed August games at the end. For football, there have been 4 plans put forward. They range from 7 regular season games to 10, and from a normal postseason to none at all. But for each plan, contact practice would start on August 30th, and the first game would be played on Friday, September 18th.
And this is based on our current situation. You have to remember, things are very fluid. All of this could change depending on the state of COVID-19 in Tennessee. Until then, we're just going to have to wait to hear from the governor's office as well as the TSSAA. Luis Fernandez, WBIR 10 Sports.
Well, as you weigh the best options for your children this fall, Russell Bivens shares the decision his family is making and his words of encouragement for all of us. That's next.
With the announcement that Knox County schools will start back August 17th, parents and guardians have some tough decisions to make all across our viewing area in many districts. Do you send your children to school? Do you let them learn online at home? Do you test the waters? I'm a parent, so my wife and I are right there with you. We personally seek wisdom from God. We look at the numbers and we talk to our closest friends, and then we make a decision and try our best to have peace with it. As a dear friend of mine said, there are no easy answers right now, and he's right. We feel it's best to send our own children back to school. And if we need to change course, we're just going to do it. But I can tell you what we are not going to do. Judge others who do not send their kids to school. Because frankly, I'm over it. I'm normally the jovial guy, but I'm done with the divide in our country. This simply is not us. And I'm going to do a better job of loving others. And I hope you join me. I promise you, my wife and I will continue to faithfully pray for our community, as we always do, and our leaders, and all of you watching. I wish all of you, with your decision, the very best. And to everyone in education whose work requires them to go back, thank you. Thank you. Straight from my heart.
Words of wisdom from our own Russell Biven. And right now in the WBIR app and at WBIR.com, back to school plans for every East Tennessee school district. Plus more details about the Knox County plan, including cleaning procedures and what recess and lunchtime could look like. It's all in the special Getting You Back to School section.
And we appreciate you watching tonight. We are hoping to help you get back to school safely and smartly. We hope to see you back here for the Night Beat at 11. Until then, have a great evening.